Hello, right, I've just come on to make a little quick update video. Well, it's been an interesting couple of weeks and I'd say a couple of months really, and in terms of the ADHD and the ASD, the comorbidity of it all has been a bit of a roller coaster, and those of you that have those two conditions, if I can use that word, will know the mountains and the valleys and the way that the two seem to work against each other. You know, you're full of ideas with your ADHD, and yet because of the ASD, you kind of have to be really meticulous in certain areas. So things seem to take forever with me. It's like I will attempt to sort out the kitchen, kind of wash up the dishes and maybe do some cooking, but I have to have it in a certain order. Things have to be clean, and then you clearing away the cooker and you go, oh, the cooker needs a bit of a clean, or or you have to stack the cups in a certain way. And well, our dishwasher, I don't know if it's not very good, but it's like if you put the dishes in not very clean, they come out not very clean. So it's almost like you have to wash up before you can put the stuff in the machine that is meant to wash up. But anyway, that aside, the domestic issues, it's sorry, I'm swaying around. The roller coaster has been focus and just not sleeping, acid reflux. And to begin with, I thought maybe it was the medication, maybe it was the Elvance, maybe it was the fact that I'm not currently really working full time at the moment, so I'm kind of between things. So maybe that's I'm not getting tired enough. And I kind of researched it a bit, and I kind of realised that diet is such a key thing. And I know there's a lot of fads around, and there's a lot of opinion about the autism diet, the cutting out your gluten, cutting out whatever it might be. And I've been a bit skeptical about that, because I've known people that have done that, and it's seemingly not, the situation hasn't changed, because autism is not like diabetes or something. You can't just get it out your system by changing what you eat, and it's certainly not the case with ADHD. You perhaps as you get older, your symptoms will change as a young child, even a young adult, and so you might kind of level out and not have the hyperactivity, because you haven't got that sort of energy that you once had. But for sure, I think there is a lot to be said about our diet, and not just neurodiverse but neurotypicals. I think we are at the mercy of marketing. We are at the mercy of companies that they're basically pushers of unhealthy food, the processed food, which is, oh, it's just cheaper, isn't it? And you go into the shop, and the ready meals can be cheap as chips, no pun intended. But and yet you go into the healthy options and you realise, oh, it's a bit of a cost there. But I've kind of hit a brick wall there, thinking, well, I can't afford to have all these healthy food. And it's like, well, actually, you can make changes. So one of the things I've discovered, is the whole, from not just, I haven't worked it out myself, but I've looked at audiobooks and videos about this very problem, because I realised, well, actually, I do have a problem with blood sugar. my diet hasn't been great over years, and I've noticed symptoms which to me were a bit alarming. I've not had any tests, but that maybe my blood sugar's high, maybe I've got too many carbs in my diet. And it turns out that, I would eat, say, a muesli for breakfast and then have some toast with marmalade and then, a kind of milky coffee, and I think, oh, that will get me going, and that's pretty healthy. I might even have a banana, and I might even have some orange juice, and it all seems healthy. And yet, you look at your muesli, and most of them, they've got sugar added. Orange juice is concentrated sugar. Yeah, and muesli and all that kind of stuff, it's all kind of starchy stuff. And so it turns out actually that this is causing what's called a glucose spike. If you haven't heard of that, it's worth checking out some videos about glucose spikes and what that is, because I don't know if it's common knowledge, but it's obviously an alarming thing that so many of us are spiking our glucose. And so we might wake up in the morning and have a really starchy breakfast, drink the orange juice, have sugary cereal, or maybe coffee with a bit of sugar in that, and well, you might think I'll have a bit of honey, but even so, honey is still a natural sugar. And so because we've been fasting all night, our bodies digest this really quickly, all this stuff, and so the glucose in our body spikes, because I think it's like the pancreas that creates the sugar. And I don't know the science fully, but you can look into that. And so you might have this kind of, you feel ready to go, ready to take on the day, and then about 11 o'clock you hit this kind of wall, which is what I was doing. And then like, I better I'll have a cereal bar now, or muffin, or a coffee, 11's is. And so you're packing in the sugar again, and you're still feeling, by the time you get to lunchtime, I better have some lunch, because it's that's what everyone does, have a bit of lunch. And then you hit the mid-afternoon lull, and you might have to have a sleep because you're crashing. And that's what I was finding, that I was getting to 4 or 5 o'clock, and I was just like exhausted, absolutely burnt out, and I'm like, what's going on here? I'm eating the right stuff, so I think I am. I'm trying to be rested. I'm trying to do the right thing, and it turns out actually it's not the best thing to do. So over the past week or two, I've been low carbs, low sugar, and it actually hasn't been that tricksy really. And there are alternatives, like for instance, if you swap out sugar, say you can't give up sugar, you can use molasses, which is unrefined cane sugar. You can, there's lots of alternatives, and also it's what you have with your carbs as well. So if you say you're going to have a bit of pasta, if you chuck in some spinach, or eat a salad, I think there's something in the salad which does something to your gut. It's kind of aligning. I mean, you have to look it up, but it's quite eye-opening. So I've been trying this, and I've been trying vinegar water, green tea. There's not as much caffeine, not as much starchy bread, just having a little bit. But if I want a bit of chocolate, just a small bit, just a square. But there would have been times when I would have just eaten as much chocolate as I wanted, because I couldn't stop, because it's like a craving. Sugar is, they reckon it's as addictive as cocaine, and what this sugar does to our livers is pretty much the same as what alcohol does. And there's this condition known as fatty liver, and you can get that. And apparently a lot of kids are getting this. These, I think maybe it's worse in the US. I don't know, and I've been increasingly aware of it, and it's almost like I've been noticing people looking quite unhealthy, and I kind of think, well, I'm not fat, but then I think, oh, actually, you know, a bit of a chin, yeah, a bit of a tummy, and we can't always see what's going on inside our body. We can't see our livers, we can't see our our hearts, we can't see perhaps the strain that we've put our bodies under. And I think if we are kind to our bodies, I think obviously our brain is part of our body, and it's gotta benefit it. So it's like, how do we manage our ADHD and ASD? By being kind to our body, because the brain is part of the body. And so that's my take at the moment, and hopefully I can go along with this. And the thing about anything like this, it's not being dogmatic and rigid, and not say, well, okay, I might have more calories one day or to the next, or I might, like, actually I want to, it's someone's birthday, or I'm just gonna have a bit of chocolate cake, and that's okay, because it's like, it's not that our bodies can't deal with the sugar, but it's like the amount of sugar that we can potentially take into our bodies if we're not wise is scary. And that's the thing, it's just being wise and thinking, well, how much sugar is in that? Do I need that? And if I take sugar in my coffee, well, let's maybe not have sugar, maybe a little bit of sugar-free syrup. But again, these sugar-free stuff, they have problems as well. Um, you know, so it's a huge subject, which I'm certainly not going to go into really. I'm just talking about my experience, because that's what's relevant, and that's what I consider to be my insights for today and this week. So obviously my channel is ADHD Autism Insights. It's actually Autistic Insights, but I may be changing that, because for me it's the two. I have to manage the two. So, and I think that's the case for a lot of us out there, that we have to manage. It's kind of juggling, isn't it? It's like juggling the two balls. And some of us have to juggle with three. I mean, because we have other conditions, you know, OCD. Some of us have PTSD. Some of us have depression, which is, oh, you know, and but we can make little changes in our life. We're not just having to wait for help to come, because help is there, and there's a lot of great resources, but we can also manage our own lives and refocus ourselves, refocus our brains to, well, not master us, but we can, you know, we can be the masters of our minds and our bodies. We don't have to give in to every whim that comes along. So I'm gonna leave it there, because it's gone past the amount of time that I think is reasonable for ADHD folks to kind of stick with, really. You might well have signed off by now, and if you're still here at this point, thanks for listening, and see you on the next video. Bye for now.